Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmanolds.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. Here we go. Hey, please give a big welcome to my special guest and your valuable leader, Glenn Willocks. Glenn, welcome to your leadership chat.
Thank you so much, Vilma. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate the invite. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, me too. And we're kind of like almost dressed identical. Look at us. We must have I don't know.
You got to go on a Friday. You got to go for a power pink or some sort of something to get somebody's attention and start the day off right.
Yeah, right. And I know you've got your fidget toy, and so we were talking earlier about what you got. So what do you got in your hand? Are you going to share with us?
I have some. Yeah, I've got a squishy ball that I got from Fit Life Foods. That clearly I am not an advertisement for their brand,
right?
But
yeah,
I do my best.
Well, this guy's kind of looking not as happy but I'm squeezing it out of him to make him happy on this Friday.
There you go.
Yeah, no, great. So, you got to have a little fun. And the whole concept of your leadership chat is for anyone listening in to know that leaders, are just everyday people trying to do great things for others. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. To kick things off, though, would you share a little bit about Glenn and tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Oh, sure. I'd love to. How much time do you have? Because I love talking about myself.
This is your chat, your leadership chat.
I've grown up in Florida, so, I've been fortunate to grow up in an incredible hospitality environment, whether it's the beaches or the theme parks. And I think that influenced my career when I moved to Orlando to UCF to really start my career and go to college. I ended up at Walt Disney World. And I have every confidence it's because I was the biggest geek in the building that day, because I show up for an interview at their casting center in this, I wish it still fit, honestly, in this corduroy sport coat with the elbow patches,
Yeah.
And I had a little goofy figurine sticking out of my breast pocket.
Right.
I'm convinced that got me the job, because my personality certainly didn't when I was in college.
Well, I don't know, goofy in the pockets. It sounds like, you just want it to come out, you got
to stand out somehow.
Yes.
You got to stand out somehow.
Yes.
And I spent several years working at Disney and just had a blast. I grew up going to the theme parks and to watch the monorail go by and wear a spaceman costume and have somebody pay me for it was just a dream come true. So after that, I kept, I wanted to do something different in hospitality. So I started working at Bennigan's.
Yep.
Y'all remember Bennigan's, the deep fried Monte Cristo sandwich and turkey O'Toole. And so I spent several years helping to drive that organization into the ground.
You did.
Moved on from Bennigan's to a beach resort down in St. Pete Beach called the Trade Winds. Spent 14 years there before trying my own venture for a little while. Figured out that really wasn't what enthused me. It wasn't the kind of passion project that I intended it to be. But I was very fortunate to find another opportunity at Innisbrook, and I've found a wonderful home here. It's great people, and like I say, I traded the beach for a golf course. Life is not all bad.
I was going to say, you're just living the dream here,
Don't let the secret get out.
I know, right? We got to keep this under wraps. But no, you have such a great sense of humor. I knew from the moment I got the chance to have a conversation, I was like, I can't wait for this firecracker to get him on the show. You are just, you're just a ball of fun. And so I'm so looking forward to our conversation. Now, you know, I talk about valuable leaders, people that make this impact in your life that you would say, man, Glenn would not be the man he is today if it wasn't for this person. And sometimes it's more than one. But I'd love for you, Glenn, to share with us, you know, who is a valuable leader in your life and why would you say that about them?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have a number of leaders throughout my life and mentors. I there's nobody other than my dad that stands out
Mm,
more.
right.
I think, and my dad was he was a cop for almost 40 years. Retired as director of public safety a number of years ago, and had the appropriate balance, I think, when I was growing up of discipline and encouragement,
Right.
right? Of just opening as many doors as he possibly could, but also uh, hold me to account in the way that a parent and a leader really should. Any kind of lesson, whether it was, he played the drums growing up.
Right.
So for a while when I was younger, I played the drums, and I don't have any kind of creative or expressive bone in my
A
body. I
rhythm?
just
Come
don't.
on.
I can't dance. I can't. No, I can't.
Bet you
I,
can sing.
I lost that gene. I just it doesn't exist.
Skipped over you.
But that was a lesson,
Yeah.
in that you don't just, if you don't enjoy something, if you're not good at it, you don't just walk away. You don't just quit. Um, you try to get better. You find something that does suit you.
Right.
But it's okay to try things, and it's okay to fail. It's okay not to like things. But you stick to things.
Yeah.
Everything from something like that to cutting the grass, and I didn't edge the corner of the lawn well enough, and
Right.
I'm back inside wanting to play video games or whatever it was, or but then it's nope, 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 get back out there and finish it the right way.
Right.
Um, so I
Yeah. Yeah.
remember one conversation I had with him was, I was 16 or 17, and I had gotten a ticket for running a red light or something, or stop
Wait,
sign or something.
time out. Didn't you say your dad was a cop?
Yeah, exactly. Well, sometimes that worked to my advantage, and sometimes it didn't. Right.
Okay.
This is one of those. This is one of those scenarios where it didn't.
Right.
And so he says, something to the effect of, did you run the red light? I said, well, the light was yellow, when I was going through the intersection, and then I get that out of me, and then he says, okay, did you run the red light? And I said, well, it's so the guy in front of me was making a right turn, and I had to slow down, and then I get through it, and then and then he said, okay, did you run the red light? Oh, okay, I get where you're going. Yes, I ran the red light. and
I love it.
those kinds of lessons, and I think
Yeah.
the humility that he had, just again the encouragement from,
Yeah.
I wasn't any good playing little league and t-ball, but he was there at every baseball game that I can recall, cheering me on. So
Yeah. I love that, cheering you on, and it's so true to have that humility, but to also bring discipline. And, I talked about this with someone else. Discipline is not necessarily pain. It's really to help you to be better. And it wasn't that you didn't do, a good job on the lawn. It's that you could do better because he knew you had
yep.
it in you. And that's the idea behind it. And he's like, you're my son, you can do better. So, get back out there because I know you got it in you. So, wow. And look
It
at
doesn't
you.
always feel.
Look at you. You're just watching the lawn grow and somebody else is cutting the lawn now, man. You're out
Yeah,
on the golf
exactly.
course.
That's right. That's right. I try not to give the same pointers to our grounds crew, though. It doesn't come
Right.
off the same way.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't think so. Oh my goodness. Your sense of humor is just you got me in stitches. I gotta stop. My cheeks are gonna hurt through this. And we just got started. Okay, so Glenn, you know your dad was, he's one of those individuals you say, man, without a doubt, the man is a valuable leader in my life. I'm who I am today. He's instilled those qualities of discipline, of humility, not just giving up, but doing the best that you could do. You're not measured against someone else. You're measured against the best potential that you have in you. And so those things. My other side of the question would be then, how do you influence others and impact them in a way where you're like, I'm adding value to the lives of others? How do you do that?
I love this question because it's not something that I think about often.
Right. Right.
I'm more of I want to I want to open doors. I want to provide opportunities for people, but their accomplishments are theirs. It doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm fortunate just to be on the team with the
Mm-hmm.
people that I share the field with. I remember so in 2009, I had the opportunity to go to a Franklin Covey train the trainer opportunity with the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and do a 3 or 4 day workshop at
Wow.
their facility. And for folks familiar with the 7 habits, habit one is be proactive, and carry your own weather,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Going through that program, uh, I'm landing this plane, I promise.
No, I'm
Taught
writing
you
down something so I don't forget.
taught a great deal, I think, in just personal and professional development. Um, but when you get to habit two, begin with the end in mind. There's an exercise where you identify what you want your legacy to be.
Mm.
And being the enormous domain, my legacy was to be somebody like Obi-Wan Kenobi, to be a teacher, to be someone who will guide others, um, and practice humility to the
Mm.
point where I'm an introvert. I just naturally I'm an introvert,
No.
and I love being on stage, which is
Right.
bizarre, but
I hear
what
you.
feeds my soul is to hang out with my dog.
Mhm. Yeah, right. Yeah.
um, so to me, the way I try and approach leadership is to coach, to open doors for folks,
Yeah.
um, to be a subject matter expert, to share information with others,
Right.
and get out of their way,
Yeah.
and just afford people the opportunity, give them the tools and the resources to shine,
Yeah.
and get the heck out of the way.
Mm. That's the truth. Because people want to have someone that believes in them, gives them what they need and guides them, but then, believes enough in them to let them do their thing, their way to get the goal accomplished. I mean, spot on. So, and that comes full circle to what your dad did with you. I mean, he held you accountable, but then he still cheered you on. Like you went to those games in Little League and you were trying your best and he was like cheering. That's my son out there. He was cheering you on. It didn't matter if you were out there and you were on the bench. That's my son out there. He's doing it.
Sure.
And you just the fact that you kept trying. And I think that speaks volumes of coaching others to help them, step into their potential and then get out of the way and let them grow, let them make their mark. So kudos to you. And you're just from how you started this whole answer to the question of how do you help others become more valuable, be valuable leaders, you started from a place of humility. You're like, I don't even think about, it's a question you don't think about, it's something you just do.
It's I think when you can look at people around you, when you can look at your team's success and your
Yeah.
organization's success, and know, yeah, you had something to do with that, but look at what we did.
Yeah.
Look at what, but that's that I don't want to focus the entire time on Covey, but that's the maturity continuum, right? You move
Right.
from dependence to independence to interdependence.
Right.
And getting to that point where you have a group of people that are firing on all cylinders and have each other's backs and want what's best for everybody, and you're always thinking in that kind of we state of mind.
Right.
That's an incredible place to be.
I know.
That's an
And
incredible place to
it's
be.
an incredible culture for an organization to have. And I think that's really what people strive for, you know. Off a little bit on this, but a little bit deeper, just from, I'm curious, why do you think some companies are struggling to have that type of culture where, that where it's more of a we and and they just, I know you didn't see this coming, but it's just curiosity for me. We may cut it out. I don't know. I'm just interested in what you think. Why do you think companies struggle with that?
No, I love this, and I'll talk about this stuff all day long.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's, but I don't know if we have enough film in the camera for that. So, I think there's so much going on
Yeah.
recently, and everybody's got some kind of recency bias, right? And
Right.
obviously, the pandemic still looms over everything that we do. But you look at what's happened, I think, in the last 10 years, and people get to work for Uber Eats and create their own schedule and do whatever runs they want, whether it's Instacart, Uber Eats. Instagram influencer was not a job title 10 years ago.
Right, right.
And it is today. So
Sure.
there's so many entrepreneurial opportunities for people to take advantage of. I think
Mhm.
some of those high performer or even high potential individuals
Right.
are going that route because
Mhm.
they don't want to have to be dictated to.
Right.
They want that sense of autonomy. So we've lost a lot of high performers from the traditional
Mm,
workplace, I
mm.
think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Combine that with I think a lot gets overstated about generational differences and the millennials and Gen Z don't contribute to the same workplace or have the same work ethic, and in a lot of ways they have higher expectations.
Hmm.
And by the way, as an aside, there's a George Carlin stand up from like the early '90s, I think,
Okay.
where he's saying the same thing.
Uh-huh.
If you watch George Carlin from the '90s
Right.
as a member of the Greatest Generation, he's saying the same things
Right.
about the baby boomers that
Right.
the baby boomers
It's
have
the
been saying
same
about the millennials.
millennials.
It's the
Exactly.
same thing. It's
Yes.
hilarious to go back and watch it.
Right.
But the I guess the point that I'm trying to make is the workplace has changed so much.
Yeah.
The people have so many more opportunities
Yes.
to make a living. You
Hmm.
can There are people who golf for a living on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is what they do, right?
Yes. Yes.
So many people, you don't have to wait tables to
Right.
grow up anymore. You don't have, in college, you don't have
Mhm.
to work the overnight shift
Yes. Right.
to get a promotion like I did. Um, and the culture of an organization
Yes.
is simply its people.
Hmm.
It's the
Right.
people create the culture.
Right.
Um, so I think just the way expectations have changed and the
Hmm.
kind of competition that's in the market right now, it's a different kind of workplace.
Yeah. 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 No, it certainly is. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that the gig economy, I mean, I'm in the gig economy, my own business, coaching leaders and doing training to break down silos, bring teams together to improve engagement for those organizations that have those types of resources, and to work with those leaders that are saying, I want to own my leadership brand. So I'm going to step in and do my, own thing, like you say, that gig economy, freelancing, soulpreneurship, entrepreneurship. I think that has afforded a lot of opportunity for a change in how people work, and versus, the differences in generations. It's the differences in, more how I am going to get fulfilled and how I'm going to reach my potential doing the things that I love. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, and the kinds of people, I think, like yourself, the energetic, the creators, the kind of disruptors, who used to bring that culture
Right.
into organizations here and there,
Right.
are now almost on the outside looking in, for better or worse,
Right.
because you now have the opportunity to influence how many companies.
Yes.
You can influence your entire client list, as opposed to being an individual contributor at one organization.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And it's sad to say, but sometimes, organizations tend to listen more to the consultants. I remember when I worked inside the organization, the team, we came up together, we came up with the same ideas, some really good ideas, but a consultant was hired. And so then we told the consultant, because they do their due diligence, right? The ideas, and then the company did those things. And we're like, but we
Yeah,
as a team, we're just saying that. And so I see it, as now the consultant and coach, I see the team, saying this is what we should do. And then you become that advocate for the team to say, I hear what you're saying. And, if it's spot on, then you're like, let's go together. Let me take that there. And, you become the messenger for those that already have the solution. I mean, so it's a different
isn't that
dynamic
incredible?
for sure. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for indulging me with that. Thank you, the listeners, for kind of going down that track with us. So let me land us in here with thinking about one big takeaway. And so, we never know when people are going to listen in. We never know where they are in their season of life. We never know if they, what generation and they're coming from as far as their beliefs and their values. And so, what would be one big takeaway that Glenn would want to share with everyone listening on how they could become a better leader and live a bigger life? Stop playing small, be a valuable leader.
I think the one thing that has influenced me the most, maybe,
Right.
and we said it already, is carry your own weather.
Wow.
Is by nature, I see in human resources, we're often somebody's first step when something doesn't go well, right?
Right. Right.
When
Sorry.
uh, yeah, well, that's the nature of the business, and
Right.
that's what feeds my soul to kind of
Help.
to problem solve
Right.
some of those opportunities, right? But I think, for any number of reasons, we have a tendency as individuals to be victims to
Mm.
our emotions,
Mm.
and be victims to um, our initial feelings, and the feelings we get reacting to any number of stressors in our lives or at work at any given time.
Sure.
And that's I think our default reaction.
Mm.
But we have the ability to decide
Yes.
to be
Choice.
happy.
Yes. You
We
have a
have
choice.
the ability as individuals to carry our own weather, and decide that a situation is acceptable or not,
Right.
and decide that we can control probably more than we think we can control sometimes.
Yes.
um, I listened to a podcast the other day by an organizational psychologist, and she was interviewing, I guess, a wealth psychologist.
Okay.
So this is somebody who speaks to individuals that, I mean, have billions of dollars in net worth. And
Right.
I guess one of his clients said, not in jest, completely serious,
Sure.
that, I realized one day it's not the first billion you make, it's the second billion that will make you happy, right?
Wow.
It just and
$1 billion, not enough.
and and yet,
Right,
um, I nobody on this property right now,
right,
nobody in close proximity to my office, with the exception of some of the people maybe on the golf course, right?
right,
Some
right,
of the guests we're serving are anywhere close to that discussion.
right.
And we have some of the most ridiculously friendly and happy people,
Yeah,
uh, because they understand it's not, you're not living for what you might have tomorrow.
right.
You're living for what you do have today,
Oh,
and there's always a way to look at something and appreciate what you have and appreciate what's right in front of you and be grateful for
yeah.
the opportunities that you do have.
Yeah. Oh man, that is just, you just dropped a bomb there, about seriously, it's like drop the mic. And you made me want to just get up and run out to the kitchen. And on my island, I have a jar that's a gratitude jar. So every morning I get up, and on one of the shows I did, I shared, here's my gratitude jar, and it has a pen in it, and then it has a note, little sticky notes, and I write a note down, and I had pulled out one on one thing I did, and it said coffee, I mean, it had a list of other really
Oh
important
yeah.
things, but it had coffee listed, and I was grateful for coffee. But it's just like you get to choose. And I think you just dropped a really powerful nugget that we take. I believe that, if more and more people embraced it, being grateful for what you have today, not what you want tomorrow, what you have right now. Just be grateful for that. And what a way to land that plane. I love that. And I'm serious. That is so powerful. Gratitude, having, and we kind of hear these sayings, attitude of gratitude. But seriously, if you choose, like you said, you have a choice, right? You have a choice to how happy you are. You get to choose to make those decisions. And so, hands down, love it. Okay, so how can listeners learn more about Glenn, and kind of just continue to learn from you? How can people learn more from you or about you?
Well, anybody who wants to learn more from me should be careful what they ask for, I think. But it's the best way to find or follow me is on LinkedIn. And for better or worse, I don't have a big social media presence, and I think maybe
You're
that
so
contributes
funny.
to my overall happiness sometimes.
Yeah, right.
But it seriously. But no, I'm on LinkedIn, and that's where most folks can find me. Just Glenn Willocks on LinkedIn.
All right, so we're gonna put it in there. It's we'll put your LinkedIn in the video, so anyone can take a screenshot if they'd like to follow Glenn. You can do that on LinkedIn, and just know that he might be out on the golf course. That's all I got to say. But he's out there.
That's right. If it takes me a while to respond, yeah.
He's out there just really connecting with the clients and with the team for what they're doing together. So Glenn, let me tell you, this has just been a ball. I could just talk to you for, I don't know, for a long time, but I know you got things to do, places to go, people to see, and money to burn, like they say.
That's exactly right. Well,
So
this has been such a pleasure, Velma. Thanks so much for the invite.
oh
Really
my,
appreciate the
no, it's
conversation today.
it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Glenn, and we'll be talking soon. All right.
Thanks, Velma.
Hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on